Hello, beloved of the table. My name is Libby, and I am the founder and former facilitator of The Table, a beautiful, radically inclusive spiritual community that existed and shared meals together, shared community together for 10 years in Casper, Wyoming. It's hard to believe that we gathered for the final time together around the table in October a year ago. And here we are, October's rolling around again, and it's been a full year since our community witnessed the sunset of our community together and went into slumber. Since that time, the table's board has been meeting periodically to take care of remaining business and administrative tasks, as well as to really do the work that we were invited into as a community to listen to the dreams that were happening in slumber. So we are so excited to share with you, our beloved table community, our participants, our supporters, our network of witness and transformation, that we want to produce a podcast. We want to produce a limited series documentary podcast that tells the table's story. When you think about what the table was best at, we were really, really good at messy community, messy tables, and telling stories that compelled us to be better humans in this world, to love ourselves well, to love the divine well, to love our neighbors well, no matter how hard that calling was, and to love the earth well. So as the table's board has been listening in slumber to what's happening, we realized that there was just so much power to be gleaned from the table's story. And so we are getting ready to produce this podcast. You know, what's interesting to me about the October season in the global north is that it really is a season of autumn, a season of letting go, a season of returning the earth's fruits and harvests back into itself so that the fertile soil can grow again come springtime. And so as we've slumbered across the last year, as we come back to another time of autumn's wisdom, we're realizing that there's much to be gleaned from the wisdom of the trees that show us what it's like to let things go. So even as we've learned to let go of the table's presence in our lives, we also know that the earth replenishes itself. The earth takes what falls from trees and from rotten harvests and from snow melt, and it takes all of those elements and it replenishes and nourishes those of us that are still living and moving and having our being. And so the point of this podcast is to really go back to the table's powerful 10-year tenure and think about the stories that need to be told, not only for our own closure and grief process, but also for the inspiration of other communities that want to do radical things like what we did, right? I'm thinking, of course, about the time that we offered meals to the homeless at this time of year around Halloween. I'm thinking about the time that we got inspired to create the Reverend James Reeb Memorial Mural, which then spiraled into the Casper Mural Project, which has created around a dozen murals in our community. These are just a couple little examples of the stories that are worth telling. And then as the board has thought about it too, the story of our closure, the story of really letting go and not trying to hold on to something that needs to be returned to the earth. So if you catch up in this letter and follow our social medias for a little bit, you'll know that there's going to be a multitude of ways that you can participate in this next chapter of the table's slumber and story as we give back to the world all of the lessons that we learned. We need you. We want you to participate in our fundraising goal. We want you to share your stories with us. We want you to be transparent about all of the ways that the table served and guided and inspired you. We had that beautiful tagline when we were still gathering together that said that everyone can belong, be loved, and be nourished. And in the retelling of our story in podcast form, what we're hoping to do is to retell, recycle, and regenerate those pieces of wisdom. Will you join us? We would love to have you along for the journey. We'll be gathering on October the 30th via Zoom for a big celebratory experience of this year-long journey of sunsetting. We want you to be there. We want your story to be a part of that gathering as well as the podcast experience. So thanks for listening. Can't wait to see more of you at the final gathering on October the 30th, and hopefully hear from many of you about the table's impact on your life when it was alive and well. Be well.